you're doing well. I hope you are doing very well. So, the other day, I was flying from Johannesburg, Lanseria Airport, to Durban, King Shaka International Airport. I was going for a 1 day seminar in Durban. And some things happened during that flight that really inspired me, and I thought you will be inspired as well. So, what happened was, while we were preparing to board, I saw almost 30 primary school students. They were dressed in school uniform, and they had quite a number of teachers that were accompanying them. And then, by the time we now boarded the plane, what happened was that the students were making a lot of noise. I think this is the noisiest plane I have ever boarded in my life. So some adults began to complain that the children are making a lot of noise, but unfortunately, there was nothing that could be done about it. What can you do? I mean, when you are flying with a lot of 11-year-olds, you can't control them. They can't just keep quiet. They are excited, they are young, and they have the energy. So a number of things happened during that flight, apart from the noise that they were making. I went into reflection mode. I started reflecting a lot about my life, about the difference between the wealthy and the not so wealthy, or maybe the wealthy and the not yet wealthy, because I started having a conversation with two of the boys that were seated next to me. One was 11 years old, the other one was almost 11 years, and they were doing grade 5. And I was asking myself, when was the first time that I boarded a plane? When was the first time that I boarded a plane? The first time I boarded a plane was when I was 37. When I was 37. That was the first time ever for me to be on a plane. But here are 11-year-olds that are on the plane going to Durban. And I asked them, so, boys, what are you going to do in Durban? They said, no, we are on a tour. So when we get to Durban, we will get some homes of certain parents, or maybe we'll have a common place where we'll be staying for the period, and then we'll just be going around learning this and that. It was not really, they said it's not a trip, but it's a tour. As we continued talking, one of the boys said to me it was his fourth time touring. And the other boy said it was his second time touring. And I was thinking, what is the difference? How come at the age of 11, I was not able to tour the way they are doing? How come at the age of 11, I was not able to travel by plane? I know that there are some people who say it's not important to have money, it's not important to be wealthy, all of us are the same, we are all going to die. But tell you what, money answereth all things. One of the boys at a later stage, he said that he was telling the other boy, he said, yesterday we flew to Cape Town for a funeral. I don't know how many of us are able to actually fly from one city to another city to just go and attend a funeral. I'm saying to just because usually for most families, when there is a funeral, even the money for bus fare is not there. And we tend to believe that, when a funeral is about to happen, it has to happen that way, that it happens when you don't have money. But I think it's because, probably, you can pardon me, but I think it's because of poverty. Because if we have money in the bank account all the time, then whether there is a tragedy or there is what, money will always be there. But what I can see is that people are in sizes and life is in stages. So what happened was, I know that some people would have looked at these boys and, feel jealous or feel envious of them and their parents, or maybe to say that they are wasting money. How could you let children go from city to city by plane and you're trying to show off? No, but I think for some people, they can afford it. They are wealthy, they have the money. So, if you want to be successful in your life, it's important for you to be inspired by those who have gone ahead of you. Be inspired by those who have the money, who can do what you can't do. I remember also before the plane started off, one of those two boys, he started eating his snack. He had a bag, so he opened his bag and started eating a snack. I looked carefully at the snack that he was eating, and I saw that the snack was composed of the expensive nuts, like the hazelnuts, the cashew nuts, and all these nuts that are very, very expensive. Those were his snacks. And my mind shifted to the time when I was 11. I was asking myself, that time when I was in the rural area, what was I doing at the age of 11? I don't know what you were doing at the age of 11, but one thing for sure is at the age of 11, we didn't go touring, obviously. And whatever we did probably was to go for football games on behalf of our school against other schools. And then when we went there, we would carry a lunchbox. Pardon me, it's not called a lunchbox, it's an empty plastic paper, probably 1 kg or 2 kg of sugar had been removed from the plastic, and then the plastic becomes the lunchbox. Maybe we can call it a lunch plastic. Then what will we have inside there as snacks or as lunch, whatever it is? It can be, depending on the season, it can be sweet potatoes, cooked sweet potatoes. It can be cooked fresh maize. It can be dried maize seeds that have been cooked and put in there. There were just a few people who were privileged, who were able, during those games, those football games and netball games and volleyball, to buy half a loaf of bread and probably a can of Coca-Cola. Majority of us, it was too much of a luxury because of the background where I grew up. So as I was looking at these boys, I was just thinking about my past. And I said to myself, what if I was able to work hard and have the kind of money that can allow me and my family to enjoy life? I got so inspired. I was thinking deeply throughout the journey, because another thing I saw also is that with the children, right before the plane started off, they were enjoying themselves. And then when the plane took off, as we were going up into the sky, I remember one of the boys saying to the other one, isn't it so satisfying to see the plane going up into the air? So you see, children know how to enjoy life at every moment. They know how to enjoy life at every moment. And I remember when we were landing, all those children, they were clapping their hands in appreciation that we have arrived safely. But you can imagine how many adults were too grateful, or maybe clapping hands as well, that they had landed, or how many adults were really enjoying the journey. Usually, we are just holding our cheeks and thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen about life? Surely, life is heavy in many cases, but we can learn something from the children. They don't wait to go and enjoy when they arrive, but they enjoy all the way. Now, talking about being wealthy and the importance of being wealthy, one of the things that happened during that flight, because it was a short flight anyway, just 1 hour and some minutes, I think it was 1 hour and 15 minutes from Joburg to Durban. So I saw people in front of me. I saw them beginning to take some snacks, some were taking tea, some were taking coffee. And I assumed that this was for everyone, as it normally happens in most planes. But sometimes with a short journey, they don't give you something to eat or drink. And then when the air hostess got to the seat where we were, I saw one of the small boys paying 50 Rand to buy a snack. That's when I realized, oh, okay, so they are actually selling. Generally, when I'm on the plane, I don't like eating, but it's always a pleasure receiving something from them, whether I eat it in the plane or I carry it home. It depends because it depends on what they give out. If I feel like it's not that very healthy for me, I'll carry it. Or if I don't feel like eating while in the plane, I'll still carry it home. And in a few occasions, I've actually said, no, I'm fine, and I don't take it. But it was interesting. So the air hostess got to me and she said to me, um, what do you want, say, or what would you like to have? And I said, no, thank you. I'm fine. But those kids were enjoying themselves and they are buying. I looked at the prices and I saw that just, I think it was a 500 milliliters of water, still water, was going for 15 Rand. A can of soft drink was going for about 25 rands. Obviously, it's in the plane, so you expect things to be expensive. But these kids, apart from having their parents having paid for the flight tickets, they still had money to buy the foods, and they are going to enjoy themselves in Durban, and so on and so on and so on. So, what I learned from this flight is that definitely we have to appreciate the stage that we are in. When we see those who are more successful than us, let's get inspired. Let's not hate them. Let's not jealous them. Let's not envy them. But one can conclude that it's good to be wealthy, especially if you are wealthy without cheating anyone, without killing anyone, without doing any rituals, without corruption. You're just having your money nicely and you enjoy with your family. It's sweet. The way I grew up in the rural areas, I'm grateful. It hardened me, made me a strong man, it made me a caring man, made me an empathetic man. But if it was possible to start all over again, if I were going to be the one in charge, I would love to live a life of abundance. Now, let me know what you think about this story and what sort of experiences have you had with wealthy people and their children. Let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for tuning in. The Lord bless you. Dr. Wilbert Mutoko signing out. I love you.